Back then, Confucianism was much more relevant than today. So men were always first.
Fathers and sons got everything good. Even when there was food, the men ate all the good ones.
And even in education, in a class of 70 students, there were only 2 girls.
I thought I couldn't go to school, but I took a test to get in. And after working so hard, I attended together with my Japanese friends.
And the relationship between Korean students and Japanese students
was good.
If we wanted to study at night, we couldn't turn on a light. So we lit a match and studied.
Because of the war, if we turned on the light, we would be attacked.
I'm 90 years old now, and I've lived through 3 wars.
혹시 시간이 뭔지 좀 물어봐도 될까요? 네? 시간이요. 시간? 아! 지금은 아침 10시. 네.
아저씨, 주문 안 해요?
My father believed that I was a kid different from other village kids. He used to tell everybody that I was a kid exceptionally smart, and he was bound to send me to the highest level of education. My father decided to put me in a school of higher quality, located far from home in the middle of Gangneung City.
The name of the school was Sangmohakyo.
I should be thankful towards my father for this paternal overaction. But the fact was that, for me, this turned out to be a kind of torture. I remember the dark mornings, my mother had a hard time waking me up, not to miss my early morning train to Pyongyang.
Every morning, I had to walk up 3 kilometers to get to the railway station. There, I had to wait for my train.
Getting off the train at Shikdang station, I have to take again the city tramway to get to the town center where my school is located.
After about 20 minutes driving to the town road, I had to walk again about a quarter of an hour to the school.
And when school was over, I had to make the same trip the other way around to get back home.
So can you imagine? I have to walk more than 4 hours a day just to get to school and back home. What a waste of time and energy.
Changgyeong Palace was built in the 15th century by single Mao. During the Japanese colonial period, they destroyed the palace and built a botanical garden, zoo, and museum, and renamed the place Changgyeong-won. In the present day, it has been restored as a palace.
remember when I was in middle school, we went on a school trip to have a picnic at Changgyeong-won. Changgyeong-won was one of the most famous landmarks in Seoul. However, I was a little confused with the concept of going on a school trip to have a picnic at Changgyeong-won.
The day of the school trip, my mother happened to be away with relatives. I was unable to do the preparations in time. On the day of the school trip, I took my packed lunch that I made by myself with whatever food was available at home. Usually most kids will have that feeling of excitement the day of a school trip. I just look forward to it so much.
However, I remember not being that bothered by it and just went along with it. On the day of the trip, my classmates brought their mothers carrying well-prepared packed lunches. Even on the day, I still felt bewildered and dazed on what exactly a school trip was and what it entails.
August 15, 1945. Following the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan surrendered its Allied forces, ending 35 years of Japanese occupation, and finally liberating Korea.
With the capitulation of Japan came the end of the Japanese rule, and at the same time, the recovery of the independence of Korea. My father was thoroughly filled with joy, imagining that his dream of paradise was coming true, that henceforth he would never know poverty again.
But there began the true ordeal of our family. In the place of peace, love expected, my father had to experience the country's division and soon terrorizing communism in North Korea. The first political action of Kim in the very first year of his reign was the land reform. This consisted of confiscating all lands belonging to the landholders without any compensation whatsoever to give them to what they called the collective farm.
All of a sudden, our family became one of the most doomed and poorest families in North Korea.
Since then, we have faced the most misery in the world. I never knew the meaning of Mangja as a family.
Hunger was our menu every day.
My father somehow managed to open a small rice mill in the outskirts of Pyongyang in order to provide me the feeding.
At this point, I managed to graduate from my primary school. Nearly all of my classmates had access to middle school credit choice. But for me, the education had to stop there. My father, already struggling so hard just to feed the family, could not afford to send me to middle school. The only things I remember between those 2 years was babysitting my mom's brother jumping.
The kings of the streets were the Soviet soldiers, striding everywhere and stealing everything. Some of them even loved exhibiting their stolen watches on both their wrists. My family was robbed by these Russian beggars 17 times in total. As if there was anything worth stealing.
1948. The average North Korean family lived on less than $25 a day. Most people struggle to afford even enough food to eat.
I loved my mother. She was an angel on earth. She was tenderness itself. I have never, in my life, heard her raise her voice for anything. She probably loved me a bit more than her original. In this extreme misery that I have just described, I never heard mother fighting or quarreling with father.
I remember one day when in the house, not a single grain of rice was left. Mother went out to the fields to gather some white plants.
She prepared the soup.
Handing over a bowl to me, she said,
I hope you'll be able to swallow this.
And I saw the tears glittering in her eyes. She turned away from me.
my mother would not eat anything as long as her children remained When receiving food from her, I used to ask,
How about you, Mom? What was you with us?
I've already had something.
all those prolonged provisions finally cost her her life. One day in 1948, my mother fell ill. She, who had never been ill before.
Protestant missionaries in North Korea set up schools, hospitals, and publishing agencies. Pyongyang became the stronghold of Christianity and was called the Jerusalem of the East.
But after the division of Korean War, Kim Il-sung's anti-religion campaigns harshly persecuted Christians.
My father had some meetings with the parish priest. I received a suggestion on an offer to send me to the seminary in Dulwich.
The seminary, founded by German Benedictine fathers.
The offer was for 12 years of free studies for me to become a priest.
My father was exalted with joy. He called me to announce his decision to me. His decision was to offer his son to the cause of God.
I say he announced his decision.
He never consulted me to know whether I wanted to be a priest or not. You remember what I felt when I was shot out of middle school? I had no choice!
I had to accept this, or rather,
I could not but obey my father. Because he never inquired about my personal opinion on this question which could not count for him. So I began my life in Tukwan, in quite new surroundings and environments. The study soon became my passions. The problems of adaptation could be solved without too much trouble.
I received free lessons.
Free dormitory and free food! The food was both quality and quantity wise. But compared to what I had in my family house, it was simply paradise.
I never asked myself too many questions about the vocation.
I only concentrated on the lessons I received every day. But this paradise did not last very long.
One day, in the fall of 1949,
The communist officials came to the Benedictine monastery.
Arrested all the monks and priests. Confiscated all the premises and belongings.
and asked for the students.
They kicked them out without further formality.
August 15th, 1948, Kim Il-sung becomes first leader of Soviet-backed North Korea, and Syngman Rhee becomes first president of US-backed South Korea, dividing the peninsula. June 25th, 1950, North Korea invades South, beginning the Korean War.
When the Korean War first broke out, I remember being a primary student nearby. This is all retrieved from my memory, so hope you have no issues listening to it. I'll need to start packing my backpack. We have to have something to eat. This is okay. Let's go. Oh, my feet are too long. 집이다.
My parents packed the heavier things, such as blanket and clothes. I carried a small portion of rice, which could only feed us for one day.
With all our belongings, we had to walk 20 kilometers until our feet were covered in blisters. We made a stop to take a break and to seek shelter at an empty home. We made our meal with the rice we brought from home. I remember the room was tiny, fitting in 6 to 15 people. It was so cramped, we had to sleep sitting up.
When the sun rose and there was light.
We had to get up and going to continue with our evacuation, regardless of how exhausted and hungry we all were.
아직 시키셨어? 아직. 요즘 날씨 너무 춥지?
추워.
Vamos, Castellón do lugar. Vamos, Castellón do lugar.
나도 몰라. 그 길어? 영어? 해보자. 오케이.
Brought the sad division of the Korean Peninsula into two parts,
North
and south.
And the ideological difference between these two engendered a tense military confrontation.
As a matter of fact, the war I personally lived in until then was rather fun more than anything else. As a young curious boy, I remember thoroughly enjoying every single air shows that the US Air Force jet fighters offered me, nearly every day attacking the North Korean Earth-based military targets.
During these air attacks, we lost our family's rice mill.
Through a bombardment from several American jets.
I also could watch every day the big B-29 bombers flying at a high altitude beyond the reach of the North Korean anti-aircraft guns.
They poured thousands of tons of bombs every day upon the city of Pyongyang,
systematically destroying the city up to the very last building standing.
One day, while I was watching them flying over my head, I saw one of these giant birds spitting out black smoke out of its left wing. Must have been damaged somehow.
Immediately after, I saw hundreds of black points fall upon my head with a peculiar whistling.
Instinctively, I prostrated myself to the
Put
ground
my thumb strongly against both my ears, open my mouth, and
and
wait.
waited.
A few seconds later, it was like an earthquake. The bombs exploded everywhere around me.
Behind,
Front,
To my left,
to my right,
behind,
behind,
to my right,
right.
on myself. I had to thank God to have saved me that day.
Following the ancient landing operation, the UN forces recaptured Seoul and advanced into North Korea. This next story takes place during the Battle of Pyongyang from the 17th to 20th of October 1950 between American and South Korean forces against North Korean defenses. Eventually, the UN forces captured Pyongyang.
A few days before the UN troops' entry in Pyongyang.
There was a breathtaking fight.
Between the US jet fighters
and the North Korean ground-based anti-aircraft gunner.
Behind our house, there's a huge pine tree.
I climbed up there as usual and made myself comfortable between two of the largest branches.
To watch the show.
The two contenders have been exchanging their fireworks for about half an hour.
And it was like exhibiting the extreme madness on both sides.
Then suddenly,
I saw a military truck appear on the main road.
I saw one of the US planes dive on the truck.
Opening its machine gun shooting.
Because instead of making the upward U-turn dive at the end of the dive,
It turned upside down.
Spit, heavy black smoke, out of its belly.
Hit a small hill, bites right wing.
Made a few tailspin movements.
Hits the ground again.
and then split into 100 large and small pieces.
I was then caught by an incredible panic because I crept down the tree in 2 seconds in a slight of motion.
Once on the ground again,
I was then pushed by an irresistible curiosity towards the crashed aircraft.
Nobody can be seen around me. It's the body of the pilot against the car was fighting.
The body remained whole.
He was wearing a microphone earphone set attached to his helmet.
A few minutes later,
several jet fighters arrived.
Making low circles around the crashed aircraft.
a few minutes
Probably
later,
recognized casualties.
Several jet
Other
fighters arrived.
comrade.
I had to run away then. Because for the first time, I felt I was really dangerous for being killed at any moment.
I later learned that the whole area surrounding this air crash was heavily mined by retreating North Korean troops.
That I'm still alive now.
I owe it to a sheer fluke of not treading upon one of those new mines.
Effectively, some 2 weeks later,
A boy, about 10, living in her neighborhood, shot on one of them.
And was killed on the spot.
In a press conference in November 1950, President Truman told reporters he would take any step that was necessary to win in North Korea, including the use of nuclear weapons.
Going into Busan Harbor, you could smell Korea, seeing it in its sorry state. Everything was run down. It looked like a great slum. Then there was the journey we had was in cattle wagons. It took 4 days to get to Suwon. The train now does that in 2 hours.
They were friendly, but distant. They were unused to the Caucasian face, attitude, what have you. But the British goal was to get on very well with the Koreans. We were known as young groups. I've been back to Korea twice since then. We went into a shop. They tell the custom items you want to buy. They say, in dollars? I say, no, in won please. But why do you want one? That's Korea's old currency, young group. And then carried you within seconds with a glass of wine or a cup of tea.
They thought very highly of us, as we tended to care for the children and old people, as well as we could.
Late in the afternoon,
We arrived in a provincial town named Sariwon.
approaching the entrance of the town.
We caught a glimpse of the high bell tower of the Catholic Church.
There's no need for thinking about it.
I immediately decided to go there with the hope of solving the vital problem.
Of providing a shelter for the night to come. The church was invaded already by a numerous crowd of refugees as was foreseeable.
Inside the church, a big surprise.
My father was there.
He welcomed us exultingly.
For him, as for us, this reunion was unexpected.
But for me, it was not a thorough and a conditional joy.
As a kid, many big questions were flashing by in my head.
If my father is here with us, what has become of my brothers and sisters? What the hell happened to my father? Obviously, to escape a death which appeared certain in his eyes.
He abandoned his 5 children, the oldest of which was 10, and the youngest of which was 5.
They had no house, and they had no food to eat, and they possessed not a single penny to buy anything.
And to make things worse, it was a cruelly cold winter.
The faintest thing that I could cherish was that our stepmother could have stayed home to take care of the poor thing.
Whenever I think of my poor brothers and sisters, my heart breaks.
I honestly don't know how they're still alive till this day. Because, given those particular circumstances,
It was truly impossible to survive.
but I never dared to ask my father any questions on this particular point.
He was visibly fighting inside himself against some obsessional questions haunting him.
I forbade myself to make any judgments on him. And still today, I refuse to judge him on this question.
To try and forgive him as I did and try to remember him.
My father was a former Chiju.
And as such, was already considered by the communist regime as an enemy of the people.
Besides, he was Catholic, so his name was listed in the blacklist agenda, the list of people to be purged.
Je vous embrasse très fort tous les trois, papa.
I was blown in dirt, crushed, and I was fortunate that the force threw me into a paddy field. And luckily, I landed on my back. If I had landed the other way,
But you know these wars, not only Korea, but Malaysia as well, were often described as forgotten wars and forgotten armies.
We spent the night inside the church, which of course was totally packed.
My father succeeded in collecting for us a small quantity of food from some warm-hearted refugees.
Who accepted to share with us their food stock, which was as important to them as their own lives.
Early the next morning, we set off to walk south.
Finding no path elsewhere because of the mountain, we decided to walk along the railroad, despite the danger of being attacked from the air any moment.
nest, a secret apple storage built deep under the ground.
Apparently, the owner of the storage has already left it.
And I must say that, under these circumstances, the concept of private properties did not exist anymore.
Everything belonged to whoever found it.
The next day, we embarked on our journey.
We found a small wagon used by the railway maintenance workers.
It was a square flat board with forged iron wheels to roll up the rails, and was driven manually.
The board had been abandoned there, and apparently nobody cared.
About 10 people got on it with all their belongings. And as someone began to push it, it began to roll almost by itself.
We made about 10 kilometers of free ride, cleared a passage for a long tunnel.
We arrived at a large river called Yesong.
We were about to enter the bridge arcade.
The bridge was blown up in front of us, presumably by bombs laid there by retreating North Korean troops.
The sky instantly became black as I saw small and large splinters falling down the sky like rainfall.
I found myself prostrated on the ground.
Many of the refugees in our group were wounded, but once again, I was spared.
Of course, we ended up reaching on the rolling train.
About 2 weeks after we left home,
We were approaching the city of Kaesong.
The entry of the city passes the 38th parallel movement.
So the city of Kaesong was the first locality of South Korea that we were going to see.
At this place, I saw a most spectacular and unforgettable scene.
millions of people passed through this border.
Nearly all of them, except me, were carrying with them inside their secret pockets
All their savings, like banknotes and also their ID card.
Which they obviously hadn't thought to get rid of before entering the territory of South Korea.
Order not to be suspected of anything.
It was just like confetti scattered on the streets after presidential parade.
Some banknotes were torn out, but mostly they were whole.
They had found garbage today. Oh, that's not sure.
None of them had been earned freely.
They were earned as a result of bone-breaking hard work and lifetime savings.
I had no money with me, just like my father and my brother.
Try hard to imagine what it must have felt like, throwing all their savings out.
From Kaesong on, we had to give up on the railroad.
We were told that not a single bridge was left on the railroad anymore.
Our next target was crossing the engine.
The last natural obstacle to go through before reaching the city of
Seoul!
We inquired about the possible means of crossing the river.
We happened to meet an old peasant who accepted to indicate to us where we could find a fishing boat to cross the river.
Then I remember having walked the unending hours through fields with no pathway to finally arrive at a river with few fishermen's boats.
We could obtain a free boat service from a kind fisherman.
But the morphology of the river was such that the only half of the river had a navigable depth.
So the fisherman invited us off the boat halfway through the river to continue the other half on foot.
The water came up to my knees.
The pain that I felt then was that of 100 razor blades cutting at my legs.
And 100 of needles were quickening the bottom of my feet.
After another hour's march across the frozen fields,
We arrived at a small farmer's village.
We then realized that we were outside the no man's land.
We then met a military checkpoint by the South Korean soldiers.
Surprisingly enough, it was here that the real danger of death was on the lookout for me.
울렁울렁울렁대는 과소한 곳 연락선을 타고 가면 울릉도로 애터미도 신이 나서 구해서 들 아름다운 울릉도 붉게 피어나는 동백꽃잎처럼 아가씨들 예쁘고 둘이 먹다가 안아주고도 모르는 호박잎 울렁울렁울렁대는 저녁 가슴 오징어가 풍년이면 시집가요 김치 손님 어서와요 구회스트 나무를 내려가세요 울렁울렁울렁대는 울릉도길 연락선도 넘 봉인된 그 퀘스트
Well, the point was, in 1953, it wasn't peace. It was an armistice signed. There was no peace pact. Both sides of the border were ready to attack at any time.
Now, when you see North Korea saying they're going to launch a missile to the United States, I mean, you might make a think. I don't know why this wasn't sorted out decades ago. The South Korean soldiers at the checkpoint were there with a mission to sort out and to kill all the infiltrating communist agents among the refugees. There was no time for long examinations. The inquiry and the hearing were extremely brief. So, upon summary justice, they executed on the spot all the disguised communist agents and the North Korean soldiers.
Please. My mom and my dad are both over there. Please.
I have the papers, I promise, I have the papers.
Trust me, he's right there. I can see him.
But they're with me. I promise. They're right here.
I told you, I don't know. I truly don't know. And honestly, I don't care anymore. Just tell me, yes or no.
It's too much to take you over.
No, please,
I can't.
Mom. Please, you can't just leave me here. You're my mom. Please take me with you.
You don't understand, sir. You can't separate me from my family like this. Among our group, only I happen to be suspicious in their eyes.
So one of them asked me what division of the Korean army I belonged to.
He had a rifle pointed at my breast.
Ready to shoot.
I answered,
I'm not a soldier, sir.
I'm only 15 years old.
Besides, my family has been thoroughly anti-communist.
We are all a fervent Catholic family.
And you know, a Catholic family cannot be a communist regime, right, sir? I took out a rosary out of my pocket and showed it to them.
One of them apparently knew something about the Catholic Church.
He then asked whether I could recite the 10 Commandments.
I said yes, and I did it in one breath.
He then asked if I would recite Our Father and Hail Mary.
I did so without a single stammering.
And then said, the man,
Pointing the rifle at me.
shoot. Let me go. It's impossible for me to remember all the events that happened throughout this long exodus.
When we reached the city of Seoul, at last, it was Christmas Eve, December 24th, 1950.
So it took us 20 days to make a trip of about 240 kilometers.
From Pyongyang?
To Seoul.
When I arrived at the Myeongdong Cathedral,
An evening mass was being celebrated.
This was the first mass that we had attended after such a long period of absence of the church.
The atmosphere in Seoul was quite unusual.
The city of Seoul, which, in the meantime, had become for us a destination to find peace at last,
Was found to be a place of new departure.
Everybody was busy packing and repackaging for a new departure.
The communist troops were reported to be very near Seoul.
the UN allies in South Korea were preparing to evacuate Seoul.
After one night spent in one of the classrooms of the Myeongdong Cathedral,
we were told that we had to haste our journey further down south. 배불러! 잘 먹었어?
잘 먹었다. 아이고, 피곤하네. 집에 갑시다.
네, 잘 갑시다. 네. 오늘 같이 말하는 게 재밌었어요.
네, 또 맙시다.
네요. This is all retrieved from my memory.
So I hope you can listen to it without any issue.
And if you do have any questions, please ask.